my autism, it defines who we are. It makes us who we are.
Only if I could have a vacation from all human beings except my parents and the cute kids I work with. Yes, I am still counting the one boy as a cute kid because I don't care what that boy thinks. He's probably gonna be mad at me if he ever sees this in the future.
But no, I mean, the thing is that this is what acceptance has become, is that people are saying, I accept you as autistic, but I'm not going to acknowledge your autism, which does not compute. It does not compute, like you said.
Oh, do you mean like how it doesn't compute in my brain? How, some people I know keep saying, "Oh, I don't see your head because it's not visibly there, so it's not real." And B, me still being mad.
That's where the awareness of what autism is has to come in. It needs to be more than, oh, look, there is this terrible thing out there. Because I don't think my autism is terrible. You don't think your autism is terrible.
Hello, this is Leta, and this is me and my mommy's podcast, and then my mommy, and there's me, and I'm just talking about this stuff, and there's me tap dancing, because this is the Tap Dancing / Autism podcast, and there's a bunch of animals, and I'll be trying to in my hair, and there's a bunch of sand, and ocean tap dancing. Oh, and also they're my boots. My boots are amazing. Also, there's me, trying not to have a panic attack. Also, this is a podcast about me, autism, and tap dancing, and blah, blah, blah. I'm just ADHD in this thing. Also, this make you adorable puppies.
Hey, Leta, welcome to this week's Leta's Tap Styles.
I am Leta, that is my mom. If you say anything bad about my mother, I will murder your career.
Okay, I was like, let's try this without the murder. Thank you for agreeing to redo everything. I was editing today's episode and did not like it, so we're starting from the beginning at like 7:00 in the morning.
We do this.
We on Tuesdays tend to talk about dance, the dance studio life, and autism, or just dance in general. I posted a video of you yesterday over on TikTok and on our YouTube channel. On TikTok, it's doing really great. It was you just tap dancing a cappella with things teachers have said about your tap dancing. And it has been getting nice comments on it.
I don't believe you.
But one of the things people have said is, and we're going to start with what the adults have said, because you've heard it, I've heard it, both of us have heard it directed at us. I don't see your autism.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. Last time I checked, the hospital didn't say my time of date of death. So, yeah, I'm alive. Wait a minute.
Which was not how you.
Ow, ow, ow. Yep, alive. Yep, definitely alive. That was painful. Alive.
You didn't put it that way. You put it that your autism is kind of your soul, is what you said.
Yeah, but if I put it that way on a shore, that might have like to grant to some tiny children. Tiny children.
But that is what people are catching, is your autism, my autism, it's us. It's not like you can, when people are saying they don't see your autism.
Oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a soul now. I'm sorry, I'm a robot now. Yeah, no, I was a robot now.
That's what I'm getting at.
Do I have lasers that will come out my hands? Please say yes. Please say yes.
No, you do not.
But they just said.
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm a robot.
That's what I am trying to say, is a lot of these dance teachers and other people who are doing it, they are saying, I don't see your autism. I don't see your differences. I don't need to know about your autism because I'm not going to treat you any differently. My autism, it defines who we are. It makes us who we are.
Only if I could have a vacation from all human beings except my parents and the cute kids I work with. Yes, I am still counting the one boy as a cute kid because I don't care what that boy thinks. He's probably you can be mad at me if he ever sees this in the future.
But no, I mean, the thing is that this is what acceptance has become, is that people are saying, I accept you as autistic, but I'm not going to acknowledge your autism, which does not compute. It does not compute, like you
Oh,
said.
do you mean like how it doesn't compute in my brain? How, some people I know keep saying, "Oh, I don't see your head because it's not visibly there, so it's not real." And B, me still being mad.
That's where the awareness of what autism is has to come in. It needs to be more than, oh, look, there is this terrible thing out there. Because I don't think my autism is terrible. You don't think your autism is terrible. I am not going to treat you like you have limitations. I am not going to treat you like your autism makes you different.
I'm gonna just say one thing that's probably gonna be nerdy.
Okay.
So I remember before I decided miraculously but was my time in COVID watching the New York movie and then them introducing the robot they said had autism. A robot definitely has autism. Yeah, those words make me as mad as me seeing a robot that definitely has autism and dyslexia. Yeah, the robot definitely has autism and dyslexia. Yeah, the robot definitely has those things. The robot, you know, the thing you can reprogram to
Okay. So,
that
but
makes me as mad as that.
just a little mad there. But every dance teacher you have ever had who has said this to you cannot understand why you don't see that as them showing you that they love you. That them saying, I don't see your autism, is them saying how you don't need to be defined by your autism. But they're not. And I think this is where this month is Autism Awareness, Autism Acceptance Month. And I know a lot of the younger kids want just that acceptance. And I think we need that awareness too, because people are seeing acceptance as, I don't see your autism. I won't let you be defined by your autism. But your autism, my autism, it defines who we are. It makes us who we are.
Only if I could have a vacation from all human beings except my parents and the cute kids I work with. Yes, I am still counting the one boy as a cute kid because I don't care what that boy thinks. He's probably gonna be mad at me if he ever sees this in the future.
But no, I mean, the thing is that this is what acceptance has become, is that people are saying, I accept you as autistic, but I'm not going to acknowledge your autism, which does not compute. It does not compute, like you
Oh,
said.
do you mean like how it doesn't compute in my brain? How, some people I know keep saying, "Oh, I don't see your head because it's not visibly there, so it's not real." And B, me still being mad.
That's where the awareness of what autism is has to come in. It needs to be more than, oh, look, there is this terrible thing out there. Because I don't think my autism is terrible. You don't think your autism is terrible. I've yet to meet someone who grew up with understanding people around them who have hated their autism. But when adults are sitting there telling you, I don't see your autism, what does it make you think?
Okay, if I am not a robot, then I am gonna be mad. If I'm
Yeah, 'cause
not
you're
a
different than me.
robot, I'm gonna be mad because if I was a robot, I could be able to shoot lasers for freaking good lord.
Where
And
and
I can control your phone and just delete stupid stuff.
See,
like
I had the
TikTok.
different deal where my thing was, okay, so this is something I need to hide. This is a problem. This is a part of me that is broken. This is a part of me that is terrible. This is a part of me that makes me unlovable, unlikable. This is a part of me that must be hidden. And the older I'm getting, the more, not only am I realizing that was a stupid idea, therapist, because the 80s and 90s had bad therapy,
You're
but
realizing this now?
yeah, it trauma from all that. But it also makes me think everyone who is like, I want to keep those labels off you. I want to keep you labeled free.
You're a
I want to.
jackass.
I feel like they don't love me. I mean, they don't
Because they
want to.
don't. Because they're jackasses and a-holes.
I mean, that's the thing is if you don't want this label, if you're like, I don't want to label you, I don't want to see your differences, then how can you? Then there is something inherently, you think inherently wrong with me. You think
What?
there is something inherently bad with who I am. You think I need to cut out a part of what makes me me, which is pretty much my brain, it turns out.
I have one thing.
Yeah.
When they go to somebody with a dog that actively has wheels to help with his back legs and say, oh, I don't see your dog's active wheels for the back legs because he can't use those back legs because those back legs are useless.
I actually do think some of these people would. I think one of the problems we've had.
They're monsters. What the heck? They're gonna try to take those wheels from the dog?
I am not saying our community is wrong on the acceptance. We need acceptance. I think the problem is acceptance has become in the wider community of
Talking about the woke Gen Zers. You know, the people who say, oh, hey, I'm woke.
Well, no, I mean, the seasonal allergies have hit. No, I mean, you're right on that. I think we've, within the autism world, when we're saying acceptance, we're saying we need you to give us these accommodations. We need these accommodations to be something that are just automatically given. Like at our studio, where we are automatically, everyone sees the autism at Autistic Wings. And that in and of itself is an accommodation that I don't think people understand in dance studios, that we're saying we see this autism, we need to accommodate this autism, and we need to make sure we work with your autism, which is mind-boggling that has to be a form of acceptance.
Yes.
I think what a lot of the younger kids, like in between you and me, the Gen Zers, aren't getting with this acceptance is I think within the wider community, the typical community, the typically abled community, they're seeing acceptance as I will not treat you differently. Where by not treating you differently, they're actually othering you in ways they don't know. By not treating you differently, by not giving you,
the boomers.
I know, but by not giving you the accommodations you need, by going, I don't want you to have limitations.
Asshole.
But it is because by not acknowledging your limitations, by not acknowledging your autism, they're just, for a good chunk of kids who have neurotypical parents, all they're doing is teaching these kids to hate their limitations. And it gets rather frustrating when you have these limitations and you are constantly told, well, just don't have the limitations.
And so I love that woolly mammoth scientific mouse.
Well, yeah, but like I'll do one that I still have to this day. I, have problems reading aloud because I have, what is my computer doing? I have stuttering issues and I have some issues with dyslexia and I still have enunciation issues. So when I read larger words out loud, especially if they're not in the English language, and my brain just wants to read it as English and I'm not enunciating right, and people get on to me because I'm 43, I should be able to enunciate right. And my deal is I then retreat into my little shell, which is not what you do. And I am so proud of you for your response is usually F you. But it makes me at 43 still very self-conscious that I have something wrong with me, which it's not something wrong with me. This is how I was born. It's not that these labels are bad. It's that these labels make us who we are.
I mean, they're not really labels. They're really just the truth. They're really just the truth.
Like I tell parents who are like, I don't want my kid labeled. It's like, but that
it's not
label...
labeled. It's the truth. Get over yourself. You are a jackass. If your child starts doing very, very bad things to themselves, you know whose fault it is.
I was 10, just in case anyone was wondering when that started.
Wait, you mean which part? The cutting yourself or hitting yourself?
We're going to cut that part out. But the thing is, you do label your child in ways you don't know. Like, because autism, dyslexia, all of these things are so much a part of you. Let's pick something that every parent labels their child with. We labeled you with the name Leta. You didn't laugh. Your microphone is off. People cannot hear your laughter. I'm serious.
I don't want my child. What child did have at birth?
But isn't that a label? Isn't that giving them names mean something? We know most cultures' names mean something. I mean, you gave them a label. You said this is who you are. You are Leta. And so you're okay when you're the one giving the label, but when it's about something about your child, yeah, I mean, it's a label. You're not recovering. Your name is as much a part of who you are as your autism is. If I were to take away your name, I'm erasing you. But think it through, Leta. Your name is as much a part of who you are as anything else.
Wait a minute. Isn't the middle name also a label? Also, isn't the last name also a label?
Yeah, the entire name's a label. See, women
if
nowadays.
Only people would stop saying the middle name and try and do a Spanish accent, then
Let's
I would
ignore
be
that.
fine in the world.
But no, let's take the middle name or the last name. How many women now are keeping their maiden name because they are so attached to that label they were given at birth? They're keeping their surname because this is part of who I am. To take my husband's name is to erase my identity. If something as simple as your last name, changing it erases your identity, then how much more complex is, I just don't see your autism. We will not use the word autism. We will not allow you to be autistic.
I'm sorry, I don't know who pushed you off of the plane and dropped you right into Jurassic Park and right into the freaking T-Rex's den.
But I mean, you see where I'm coming from, because you hadn't thought of it like that. The parents, I mean, girls get a label. They get their father or their mother's last name when they're born. These girls are keeping them that name when they're getting married now because that is so much a part of who they are. Do you as the teacher want me to come in and go,
Wait a minute,
love
I
you?
just thought of something.
What?
Isn't the culture also somewhat a label too because it has a name on it?
Your culture is a label. Your culture is part of who you are. This idea of not labeling autism or dyslexia or any of the other major neurodiverse issues is ableism. The going, I am not going to label you, is saying that this is terrible.
You are a-hole. You are a-hole. You are a-hole. Go on to the a-hole thingamabobber. Everyone will agree with me, or at least everyone who's autistic.
But this goes back to both the awareness and the acceptance of autism, because these teachers are aware autism exists, but they're thinking that by being accepting, it is, let's just ignore the label. Let's pretend the label doesn't exist. Let's not work with what label you
People are
need.
saying human beings are progressing in the world. Now we're digressing. We're digressing. There's no hope for humanity. We are digressing.
It is what it is. But I think there's a huge issue, a major issue, with these, bringing it back into the dance studio. These dance teachers sit there and they tell parents, mostly neurotypical parents, hey, we are an accepting community. We're not going to, we're all neurodivergent here. No. You are not neurodivergent unless you've been.
What the fuck bullshit?
No, that's a very common deal. Oh, well, we're all a little off. No, autism is a specific form of disability.
Hello, yes. Can I punch you in the face? Then you'll all be punched in the face. Definitely.
Well, let's not get violent, but I understand where the violent tendency is coming from, but let's not get violent. No, bring it back. Bring it back just a little bit. But no, like, parents will sit there and tell me about how welcoming their studio is, and me having gone through it, I'm sitting there going, it's not welcoming. And I know I had someone tell me how welcoming their child's studio was, and their child has gone off to college, and their child will never darken the door of that studio again. And the parent's like, but I thought they were so welcoming. And I'm like, the number one thing they said was, oh, we're all like this. there is something weird living with autism. I don't get the neurotypical community. I will say that straight out. Like they live in this weird world, but
I have one thing.
yeah.
How are you so good
Years of learning how to mask because I was told you either mask or you will not be accepted.
As always, but gun to your chest.
And no, it was years of you cannot be autistic. You absolutely cannot be autistic. It was years of people telling me, professionals and teachers, ignoring my autism, because if they just ignored it, if they treated me typical, then the autism would go away. If they didn't let me have that label, the autism would go away. If they just refused to allow me to be autistic, the autism would go away.
I have one thing.
How much do I not talk to any of those?
No. The world might be cruel, but world's less cruel.
I mean, but there's the thing is, if you don't have that label, if you are not living this lived experience, and I've talked to people who are diagnosed as adults, and our lived experience is totally different. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a good thing. That's just the truth of the matter. Their lived experience different than my lived experience. Please don't hurt yourself when you're stretching.
How would I hurt myself while I'm stretching?
But let's go back to one thing that but it is hard to ever like those teachers, because I have teachers who think I should like them, and they're like, but we didn't treat you different. You didn't give me the accommodations I needed. You knew that they were needed. You didn't give them to me.
I'm not treating you different, so it's like we bullied yourself and we made you a problem.
I mean, I think that's the thing, is I think a lot of people, I think a lot of the autistic people are like, if we have acceptance, and it's not it is acceptance, but the awareness and the acceptance go hand in hand. But I think a lot of the neurotypical community is like, I've accepted you by ignoring your needs.
I have one thing.
Go ahead.
Seriously, does anyone pick up a history book and learn to not do that stuff? They keep repeating all that stuff. They learn nothing from history class. They learn history. They also just think in their head to repeat it all again.
And I want to make it clear,
yeah.
I am not dissing our community that is like, no, this is acceptance month. I think that there is a bunch of stuff around the awareness, and if it hadn't been for certain groups, I think the awareness would be a lot easier for us to explain to, for people like me to explain to the younger generation. We need that awareness. We need an awareness of what autism is. And I think the younger generation is seeing acceptance as also awareness, because I'm talking to them and they're like, well, acceptance is giving
You're
me
talking Gen Z, right?
not just well, yeah, but I think it's not the Gen Z problem. I think you know where the awareness came from, and I am tiptoeing around where the awareness came from for a reason, because there's some political landmines around that. But so I understand why everyone's like, I don't want the awareness. But the acceptance, like especially within dance studios, the acceptance has been, I accept you're autistic, and I'm not going to. Yeah, the look on your face. You finally figured out why the awareness is a problem, and you're having to agree with Gen Z, aren't you?
Just kill me now. I mean, just kill me now, or else turn me into a wolf so I can just be in a while. Less than human beings.
You completely agree with Gen Z on this one, don't you? That there is a huge issue with the awareness month, a major issue. That's also where you get the red and the blue from, and certain deals. And I'm just like, I'm staying away from. But the acceptance can only come with the awareness, and I hate that. I do hate that, because the way you're acting right now. I mean, yeah. Okay. So the whole thing with the whole thing with the accept awareness is because of your favorite Because it's the way the world works. No, but acceptance has to be more. Yeah, but come back here. Because this is back to the I do not see your autism is what people are thinking is acceptance. And Gen Z is not understanding completely, but hey, they'll learn in time that what they're saying that they want is acceptance is they want awareness and acceptance, which dear Gen Z, as an elder millennial who watched you have some issues with the younger millennials, I am still pulling out the popcorn for your issues with Gen Alpha. This is fun.
Why?
Dear dance teachers who refuse to acknowledge your autism, autism also includes hyperfixation, like fixating on the fact that you're having to agree with Gen Z at the moment. So for the next 20 minutes, we'll be doing this.
with my generation's enemy.
No, but I mean, can I know I'm asking the world. Would you like to take a break so you can get through your hyperfixation that you're having to agree with Gen Z? Breaking. I think I broke the child. Okay, so no, but here's where not seeing your autism comes in, because I see this as you're hyperfixating on something. You have hyperfixated on the fact that you agree with Gen Z over something. Congratulations. I am going to get nothing from you until we get over this hyperfixation. I could, at this point in time, ignore your autism and say, I love you so much, I'm going to ignore the autism and try to deal with the fact, get you over this hyperfixation. Yeah, I'm just talking over here. You go ahead and be your hyperfixated self over there. But I am aware of the fact that I can get nothing out of you until you work this hyperfixation through your system. Because I acknowledge you have autism. Okay, I'm going to pause. I'm going to go grab a coffee, possibly a movie at this point in time before you unhyperfixate. We're going to take a minor break because you're still having issues, and I'm going to insert right here the video that got me thinking on this, because we'd done something else for this week that was pretty much same thing, a little different, but the video is going right here. You're calming down. It happens to the best of us. Video go right here. We'll all be good. See you on the other side of the video. Good news is there is no copyright strike on this video.
I am good now.
I would say something about you hyperfixating, but your father still looks at Southern Methodist University football scores to go neener boo boo over the fact that they did not let him be part of their master's degree program in paleontology.
I'm good. Everything is bullshit wrong in the world. I am good.
We're going to go now. No, but like it said in the video, you and I have both heard these things. You have heard, I'm not going to allow you to have limitations, because if I allow you to have limitations, you will never know what you can do. Are you good? Or are you still hyperfixating? Which is a limitation. Hyperfixation is a major limitation, is it not? I feel like you may need a moment, okay? I'm going to give you a little bit more of a moment.
People made me agree with my generation's enemy.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a moment. All right? All right.
You can keep talking.
I'm going to go grab a drink of water again, and I'll be right back. All right. You are fine now. You have done your hyperfixation, and you're fine now, correct?
I'm good. I'm fine. I am good. I am
Not completely, but we're getting somewhere. So, yay that. This is called hyperfixation. And it happens. Can you answer a quick question? Or are you too hyperfixated?
Nope, not as hyperfixated as that one thing from last LA.
You are still hyperfixating on almost kicking Rylan in the face in DC. So, I mean, here's the
I
thing.
almost kicked the hair off of his head. And
Here's
mustache.
So here's the thing, little one of mine. And feel free to disagree with me. How many of your dance teachers understand hyperfixation? How many of them have not understood that if you are hyperfixating, you need to probably be pulled out because you are so hyperfixating, you are going to be a danger to yourself sometimes in how you're doing choreography.
How about let's not mention how many times I've almost died in dance classes?
When you are hyperfixating, and even the best studios, you have had a couple studios that have really tried their hardest. You get so hyperfixated on learning choreography or rehearsing choreography that you will work through some major pain, including yet not limited to the scar you now have on your leg.
I no longer have it.
Oh, congratulations. You've grown enough that the scar has grown with your skin. Yay. That's not...
It has a pink circle now.
Yeah, well, it used to be like the entire length of your shin bone there.
To my ankle.
But you literally hyperfixate on learning choreography to the point that you got a scrape from the bottom of your shin bone to the top of your knee.
Yes, and apparently me stopped dancing because I didn't want to get blood on the floor. It made me deserve getting teased by my mother for not still dancing while I didn't want to get blood on the floor.
No, that was a different time, Leta.
That was? Are you sure?
Yeah, you've got them confused.
Sure?
No, that was the time when you fell off the box was the time that they had to make you stop dancing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, keep up with the ones. But they made you stop dancing, and I was teasing them going, you have to understand, she's been trained, you dance through everything, especially with your hip pain. You're going to hyperfixate on the choreography and doing what you're supposed to. Correct, Leta? What are you doing with the mic?
My face was itchy.
Okay, so we're using the expensive microphone as a face itcher. Got it. But I think that's where the ignoring your autism, ignoring what goes with your autism, awareness is more than just, oh, autism is there. And I think this circles back to we're going to try and do this without you hyperfixating. I think some of the younger generation is seeing awareness as just, oh, autism exists. We're at the point everyone knows autism exists. What I don't think anyone's understanding is awareness is also understanding. It is more than being aware that this exists. It is being aware that it has limitations. And those limitations, it turns out more and more are being that these are physical limitations in your brain for some things. Please quit being so annoyed by the fact that you have to agree with people that your eye is twitching.
Okay. How about let's not point out because I'm trying not to stress giggle because when I stress giggle, I can't stop stress giggling, and every time I stress giggle, people think I'm disrespecting them, and I can't explain while I'm stress giggling that I'm stress giggling, and then every time I stress, I giggle.
I mean, so back to you have had teachers who go, I don't see your autism. I refuse to let you have a label, but that stress giggling actually is very autistic. Majorly autistic. A lot of autistic people.
When I'm stressed, I giggle. It's very embarrassing.
But it shouldn't be because that is your autism. I mean, that is actually a very common autistic trait right there.
Well, that and then I can't control what comes out of my mouth.
So a common autistic trait. But no, the stress giggling, that you just giggle when you are stressed is a very common autistic trait. That if they don't see your autism, it's much easier for them not to see that what looks weird to them is very normal to the community. Like if you got a bunch of autistic people in the room and said, "You stress giggle." Do you know how long it took me to not stress giggle because I had to force myself not to stress giggle?
Well, that and when I'm pinned against the wall. Still annoyed about that one time.
I
Still
know, but
hyperfixated about that one time. People, one certain person, if you are watching this, you better darn well know what I'm talking about. Still hyperfixated on that.
well, your father is going to die hyperfixated on the fact that he did not have differential calc and or differential equations. Why did I say calc?
Well,
It's
yeah,
more.
I'm gonna
He didn't have your
hyperfixate on
father is
that
going to
one time I
die on the
couldn't
fact that he didn't have
control the stress giggling.
literally your father was not accepted to SMU not because of his grades, not because he hadn't done a lot of stuff, but because your father didn't have DiffyQ and it wasn't offered in a way that he could grab it before going on to graduate school. And they were like, everything else is great. We just won't accept you because of your DiffyQ. Your father is never going to forget that SMU turned him down because he didn't have a class that wasn't even required for him to graduate if he'd taken it through his same course of study through his university.
About that one. And then he said after what I said that I accidentally burned him.
Probably.
I forget what I said, but I don't know. But it was COVID, and the 9-year-old me accidentally burned my father.
But let's get back to, if you don't see the autism, you can't see the autistic traits. What you see then are weird quirks that are actually autistic traits that we're finding more papers, more studies is showing that these are autistic traits. So you can't see that you stress giggling is not being rude. It's just a thing.
Wait, whoa. Are you saying that's just part of autism? Why didn't I
Yeah,
know
I'm saying
this
it's
before?
part of autism because we just are starting to publish those papers, Leta.
Okay, why couldn't they have published that paper when I don't know?
Because
certain
previously,
embarrassing things happen?
autistic papers were written by neurotypical people and they were trying to find the cure for autism.
Assholes.
And the new papers are being written by autistic people trying to find out what we all seemingly have in common. And let's be honest, it's a bunch of people's hyperfixation. Why am I giggling so much? I'm curious why I giggle in these situations. I am going to hyperfixate on the fact that I giggle when I'm stressed. I am going to hyperfixate to the point I am going to go to undergrad, master's, and graduate school. And then I am, Lita, you look like a little kitty cat over there. And then I am going, you're distracting me. They are hyperfixating on this, Lita. They go all the way to get their PhDs to figure out why they're giggling when they're stressed.
Oh. Also, I don't look like a kid.
I mean, I cannot yes, you do actually. But I cannot understand I cannot understand the neurotypical people who sit there and say, and we're about to wrap this up, sit there and say, I love you so much. I don't see your autism, who then assume that I don't see your autism is acceptance of who you are. What about you?
Yeah.
Today.
What? I was
Um,
itchy.
No, you're itchy. I just wanted, but no. So if you had one thing to say to people who are hearing this from other people, to autistic people, to members of the community who are hearing from other people, I don't see your autism, I don't see your limitations, and I won't allow you to see your autism and limitation. What would you tell to people in the community who are hearing that?
Joe, if you're on they'll be sassy as hell, we should destroy their souls and make them realize they're stupid as hell. Yeah,
Okay, how about you're not damaged? I mean, you're not. It's they honestly don't seem to care. They want a black and white world. They want a world not even black and white. I think black and white has too many colors for these weirdos. What about you, Leta?
yeah, more like, let's see, nothingness.
Like maybe a gray, shades of gray,
No, still too much color.
sepid shades. They don't want the rainbow of colors. They want everything to be nice and cookie cutter. And you're not cookie color. You're a
Also-
vibrant shade of whatever your favorite
Yeah,
color is.
also, broken things look absolutely gorgeous. I don't care what my mother says. Broken things look absolutely gorgeous, and I can make fun
That's
stuff
not what
out
I'm
of them.
saying. That is not what I was saying. I was saying that it, to me, but I mean, sea glass is nothing but broken glass that's been polished in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely beautiful and people do art on it, but you're not broken. So I want to make that clear. Just because you're autistic doesn't mean you're broken. Here's the fun thing. Just because I'm a cuckoo crazy person, we're going to wrap this up. This week on Thursday, which is 2 days from now, we are going to be on Life Stories podcast. I'm going to come back Thursday when it drops and put it in the description. The link will be on all of our socials. Thank you to Miss Shara for having us on. Correct, Leta? Yes, correct.
Bleh.
Go listen to her podcast. It's amazing. She interviews people from all over walks of life. It's way more exciting probably than all of our autism, dance. This Friday, we have Sam Mitchell coming on from Autism Rocks and Rolls, and we're going to talk about his life on the spectrum. They can find you almost all over the place at Leta Tap Styles. On TikTok, it's Leta Tap Styles Podcast. Follow the socials. Like, comment, and subscribe. Correct, Leta?
We have Toby Puppy.
The chubby puppy is upstairs sleeping right now because Dad was on night shift this week. I'm just not today. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you are listening to this on your favorite podcast streaming network, you can actually text us. Go to the website, letatapstyles.com. We've got some guests coming up in the next 2 weeks. If you go to our Facebook page, you can leave a comment or questions for the guests coming up. And we will talk to everyone on Friday. Right, Leta? Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Hello, thank you for watching the podcast, and please subscribe, and also look at that adorable paper if you want to subscribe for it, and also please leave a like, and don't forget, if you subscribe to our stuff, you won't miss any of our new podcast stuffies, and also did you see that adorable paper? Don't you like it?